This podcast is brought to you by the Maryland State Library Agency. The MSLA podcast features presenters from statewide youth programs, as well as learning opportunities for library staff and resources for patrons of the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled.
The following is a presentation of the Technology User Group at the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. For more information about the Technology User Group, including upcoming sessions or archived recordings from previous sessions, please visit our website, lbpd.maryland.gov. That's L, B as in Bravo, P as in Paul, D as in Delta, .maryland.gov. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Technology User Group on this Saturday morning. I know some of you like saying it's an early Saturday morning, but anyway, I want to welcome you to this particular session as we are going to look at Bookshare and everything that Bookshare has to offer, and also look at how we can manipulate it to get the best experience we can out of Bookshare. And we're really fortunate this morning to have Lara from Bookshare. She's going to talk about the service, what it has to offer, and then I'm going to fill in the gaps at the end. Lara could not be with us live as it's 7 a.m. on the West Coast. She didn't exactly want to get up at that time of the morning, but which can't blame her, it being the weekend. So we're going to hear from Lara, and then I'm going to fill in those gaps and enjoy.
Untitled Star Total Record 1.2 19.3 Untitled Star Total MD Library Recording.mp Space.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lara Ronberg, and I will be talking to you about Bookshare today. Today, I will go over what Bookshare is, how you can sign up for Bookshare, and how to read Bookshare books. I know many of you are familiar with the books that you get through the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. Bookshare is similar but different in a lot of ways, so I will be going over all of that today. So to start, Bookshare is an online library of ebooks. There are over 1.4 million titles in our collection, and the collection includes books for people of all ages, books of all subject matters and genres. There truly is something for everyone. With the Bookshare library, every book title can be accessed as an audiobook, as a book with digital text with synchronized audio, in refreshable braille format, the BRF format, which is compatible with some of the refreshable braille displays. The books can be accessed in DAISY text and DAISY audio, which are file formats that are compatible with some of the NLS supplied players and readers and other devices that you might have access to at home. The books can be read on computers, Chromebooks, smartphones and tablets, braille note takers, refreshable braille displays, and many audio players that are out there. So it is likely that you already have the devices that you need to read Bookshare books. As I mentioned, it's a very large collection. We have the New York Times bestsellers, fiction, nonfiction, music scores, cookbooks, the Dummies series, really any book that you can think of. There are many titles that can also be found through BARD, through the National Library Service. But since our books do use the synthesized text-to-speech, that enables us to have a much larger collection. So it is really great to have both services, I think. You can have Bookshare and the books from the National Library Service. It really is the best of both worlds, because then you get the books from the National Library Service that do have the human narrated audio, and as well as the many, hundreds of thousands of more titles that you can find in Bookshare. As patrons of the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled, you are eligible to receive Bookshare for free, so it's really generous on the library's part. they have purchased blocks of memberships to make available to patrons such as you. So if you are interested in signing up for Bookshare, please talk to library staff, and they can give you a promo code, which you will then use to sign up for Bookshare on the website, which is www.bookshare.org. And you sign up as an individual member. There will be a space in the sign up process to enter that promo code. And you can also use your membership with the library as proof of your disability. So just like the National Library Service requires someone to attest that they have a visual impairment, a learning or reading disability, or a physical disability that prevents them from reading traditional print books, Bookshare operates under that same provision in the copyright law. But it's really easy. We have reciprocal membership with the National Library Service. So during the sign-up process, you can check a box saying that you would like to use your National Library Service membership as proof of disability. Our membership team does verify that with the library. So there is no forms or anything else for you to send into us in order to prove that you are eligible to receive Bookshare books. So I mentioned earlier that there are many ways to read Bookshare books. I'm going to cover a few of the options that I think you would be most interested in. First of all, the Bookshare books can be downloaded and added to the NLS players that you can get from your library. So I know some of them, you can upload audio files to them, an MP3 file or a DAISY audio file. Some of them do allow for text uploads. So that would be the DAISY text option for downloading the Bookshare book. So depending on the type of player you have or other devices you use, that would determine which file format you would download the Bookshare book in. And as I mentioned, every 1.4 million titles is available in a variety of formats. And all the different formats that we provide are all accessible formats that are compatible with the different type of assisted technology equipment that people with visual impairments or learning or other physical disabilities use in their everyday life to read and do other tasks. So that's what really is great about Bookshare, is all the titles can be accessed in a variety of ways to suit how you prefer to read. We have what's called the Bookshare Reader for mobile. It is a free app. There's a version for iOS devices, so for iPhones and iPads. And there's also an Android version that is available for all the different Android smartphones and tablets. They are free. You download the apps from either the Apple App Store or from the Google Play Store. Download the app to your smartphone or tablet. You sign into the app with your Bookshare username and password. So you do need to first have that Bookshare account. But then you just sign in directly into the app and search the app and find the books you want to read. So you can search the full collection in the palm of your hands on your mobile device. There are some links there, including new books, popular books, which will display the list of those books, or you can search within the app on author, title, or the ISBN of the book. So that is a really great and easy way and free way to read the books on your mobile device. You also, as I mentioned, can download the book file and transfer that to your NLS player that you already are using for the other books that you get. And depending on the model of that player, some you can download the Bookshare book onto a flash drive and then upload that to your player. Some connect to your computer via Bluetooth. So it really does depend on the device you have. I know the Victor Reader Stream is a popular device audio player that people have. You can download the Bookshare book in the DAISY audio file format and get that on the player. So a lot of options for whatever ways work best for you. So in addition to downloading books to get them onto your devices or on your smartphones or tablets, we also have what's called the Bookshare skill for the Alexa smart speaker. So if you own the Alexa smart speaker already, you can connect your Bookshare account to the Alexa device through the Alexa app that you would have on your smartphone or tablet. So you add the Bookshare skill to your Alexa device. There is a space within the app to sign into your Bookshare account, again, using your username and password. And then you can ask Alexa to open your Bookshare account. She will list books that you've read in your history, or you can search by book title or author to find the books in the Bookshare collection that you wish to listen to on your Alexa. The Bookshare skill for the Alexa app is something that is still in development. So basically, it is in what we're calling a beta test period, but we do have some instructions of how to use it, which I will be providing the links for the support documents, but I wanted to give you a little demonstration of how it works. Alexa, launch Bookshare Reader.
Would you like to continue reading Violet Made of Thorns where we left off?
No.
Okay. Would you like to read a different book or list your books?
List my books.
Here are your available books. 1. The Book Thief. 2. Desert Star. 3. Dream Teams. 4. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. 5. Liveth. Which book would you like to read? You can also add books recently downloaded in Bookshare by saying Get My History.
4.
Okay, let's read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Texts for gossip or scarce. This story had been picked over so many times and had been embroidered in so many places that nobody was quite sure what the truth was anymore. Every version of the tale, however, started in the same place.
Alexa, stop. So that is just a sample of what the Alexa skill for Bookshare sounds like, but it is really a convenient way to listen to books when you're at home, whether you're relaxing or doing something else in your house. So as you can see from what I have discussed today, there are many different ways to read Bookshare books. Some of our members like to listen to some types of books, read other books in braille. Some people, if they are able to see large text, it's very easy just to open the book on a computer or on the app on a mobile device and enlarge the font for people that can read with large print. There's also the options to adjust the color and contrast for some people that helps them access the text. So I hope you are excited to check out Bookshare. Please talk to the reader advisors at the library, and they can help you get connected to Bookshare.
Replay video from beginning. Press Alt plus leaving menus. Untitled Start Total.
We're going to talk a little bit about devices and being able to access Bookshare on various items and how to manipulate it a little bit. And let's talk about the easiest one, I guess, would be the digital player for the that the NLS libraries give out. In particular, we'll talk about the DS1, which is the basic model, because that's what most people have. There is a DA1, which some people do have, and you'll find that as far as going from folder to folder, it's probably a little bit easier. However, we're going to look at the basic player and see how we can manipulate it just a little bit. So obviously, if you're going to download books in audio, that will be the format that you choose. You can choose audio, and I believe you can choose Daisy Audio, as Lara had talked about. So you download the books to your computer. First of all, they come in MP3 format. but they come as a zip file, so you are going to have to unzip them just like you would if they were digital talking books. So for those of you who are comfortable doing that kind of thing, that's what you're going to be doing. And then you're going to be moving them to a flash drive or to a blank NLS cartridge, which you can purchase from Amazon and Perkins and a bunch of other places out there. So the books will then show up as folders. Each book has its own folder, and you take those folders and you put them on the flash drive. You plug it into your machine. It's probably best not to have anything else on the flash drive but these files. And then you take them over and copy them over to your flash drive, and it's going to show up as one big folder. So I have 6 books, I believe, on this thing. If I turn it on,
Player on.
all right. That's interesting. Oh, all right. I'm just going to
Please wait.
put that down.
Please wait.
All right.
Player off.
Turn it off for a second. Unplug the flash drive and plug it back in. Flip this back on.
Player on. Audio files.
There we go.
Current
That's
position.
much
Folder
better.
1. File 1. Time elapsed in file 19 seconds. Battery charge remaining 16 hours.
Page. Prologue. Her memories float back to her childhood like a drift boat on a gentle tide. In Mattakodak, a village on the Nushagak River in western Alaska, winters are harsh and bleak.
I believe these are, I believe that's the Kendra voice that Bookshare uses. So you get a sense of what it sounds like. But if I try to put this in bookshelf mode to show the individual folders, all it brings up is the user guide. So probably not a good idea to do that, right? So so it will play the folders, but it's going to play them in one lump. So it's one right after the other. So you being able to skip between the books is important to you. Then you need either the advanced player, which has the menu button on it, which will allow you to skip from folder to folder, or you can take these books, put them on a blank cartridge, as mentioned previously, and get a remote control unit for your basic player, which will turn the basic player into an advanced player. So the remote control unit should be available from all NLS libraries. It's in 2 parts. There's a square part with a USB mail connection that's going to fit into your USB slot on the side of your digital player. That is your transmitter, transponder, whatever you want to call it. And then you have the remote part, which has 15 buttons. They're in braille. It's probably color coded as well. When you can't see it, you just assume that it probably is, since most of everything else is for NLS. So you have this remote control unit. It has a lot of buttons on it. It has 15. But you got to keep in mind that the speed, the volume up and volume down, and the tone take up 6 of those. Of course, you have your play, rewind, fast forward, which is 3 more. You have a bookmark key, an information key, your menu or media key, and then you have your previous and next. And so it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you are, you're happy to be able to manipulate these books and be able to read through them, be able to go from folder to folder. That's if that's something that you truly want to do. Obviously, if you're putting books on your flash drive, these are books that you want to read, so maybe you don't care which order they pop up in. Or maybe when you put the folders on the drive, you can manipulate the name of the folder so that it will play in the order that you want them to play in. But we're not going to spend the entire time talking about media files and how they can be manipulated and all that sort of thing. But just know that those are your choices when it comes to playing material on your player. And of course, this is just one option. As Laura mentioned, you can play them on your A device. You can play Bookshare books on your NLS e-reader in Braille. Should you want to do that, there is Bookshare listed in the online services. By the way, if it's not listed in your online services, that means your e-reader probably needs to be updated. So just keep that in mind, because Bookshare should be one of your choices that's on there. You can play Bookshare on your Victor Reader Stream. You can play it on your Sense Player. Lots of different places because of the vast library that Bookshare offers. A lot of individuals want to have access to it, and this is so great, right? So many books, as Laura said, from children's books to textbooks, from fiction to nonfiction, just an incredible library. One of the things that I use it for is the Edgar nominations came out a couple weeks ago, and while the NLS Bard had most of the books that were nominated for Best Mystery Novel of the Year, they didn't do so well in the first book category or the Best Paperback Original category. And this is an area where Bookshare filled in the gaps for the most part. It didn't quite have everything either, but it had a good many. So that was pretty awesome, and that's what I use it for. Except, sometimes when you get books, you're not 100% sure how you're going to listen to it. I mean, maybe I want it on the NLS player. Maybe I want it on the Victor Reader. Maybe I'd rather listen to it on the phone. And so we're going to talk about the phone app just a little bit more extensively, because really didn't touch on it much. So we move away from the NLS player and we go to the app.
4:36 a.m.
All right.
4:30.
Open Bookshare Reader.
Bookshare. My library. Heading.
So on the bottom there are 3 tabs.
Selected. My library. 1 of 3. Discover. 2 of 3. Profile. 3 of 3.
Now profile is just basically your email and your password and all that sort of thing. Discover is how you go look for books. As Laura talked about, she did say you can go in here and look for books in all the categories that she mentioned. I'm not going to go back over that, but I want to talk about going into your library and playing books.
Selected. My library. 1 of 3. Selected. My library. 1 of 3. Selected.
Find a
My
book
library.
here.
Discover. Profile. Load more books. The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins.
All right, so
Actions available.
here's The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I'm just going to double tap on it
Back button.
and see what we have now that we've opened a book.
The Heiress. Heading. Search for keyword. Button.
One of the first things that's as I'm swiping from left to right, one of the first things that's available to me is to search by keyword. Probably doesn't come particularly handy in a fiction novel, but let's say that you're reading this on another device and you're up to chapter 10. Well, you can use the keyword search to look for chapter 10. So you can go ahead and skip to where you are using the phone.
Settings button.
We have settings, which we'll come back to.
It would probably shock the average American to learn just how little we know about those who go missing in the wilder parts of this great nation of ours. A tangled knot of jurisdictions and separate government
All right,
agencies.
so I
Use
don't
the
want to
settings
violate
button.
any copyright rules by letting that play for too awfully long, but you can see it's going to let voiceover read it to us if we wanted to hear voiceover. There are some options down here at the bottom.
It would probably
Hey, behave.
it would probably settings search for keyword button play button.
There we go. That's what I want. Play.
Next sentence dim.
Next
button.
sentence.
Play previous sentence dim.
Previous.
Button. Navigate through the book.
And navigate through the book. So if we choose play, what's going to happen?
Previous sentence play button. Play dim.
It would probably shock the average American to learn just how little we know about those who go missing in the wilder parts of this great nation of ours. A tangled knot of jurisdictions and separate government agencies means that there is no singular place to collect that data. No easily searched resource that tells us just how many of our fellow citizens vanish into the thick forests of the Appalachians, the cold, stony reaches of the Rocky Mountains, the dense mists of the Pacific Northwest.
All
And when
right.
someone is swallowed up by these
Seeing AI. App switcher. Closing seeing AI. Uber Eats. Active. Closing Uber Eats.
All right, so I had, as you know, sometimes happens. You touch the screen, and next thing you know, it doesn't want to respond to pausing. So I had to close the book out. But I used the South African voice because you can kind of speed it up faster, and so you can read through a book much more quickly and still understand the story. But one of the really cool things is that you'll see that there are lots of voices in here. So let me go back into Bookshare. Open Bookshare.
Bookshare. My library. Discover. Profile. 3 of 3. Discover. Selected. My library.
All right.
The Heiress. But Rachel Hawkins.
Back to the Heiress.
Back. Button.
Only this time we're going to look
Back.
for
Button.
settings.
The Heiress. Search for keyword settings. Button. Settings.
And here they are.
Settings. Heading. Close settings modal. Selected. Quick set. 1 of 5.
And you have the quick settings, which is, kind of all your defaults, which we're not going to really look at.
Audio. 2 of 5.
You'll definitely discover what those are once you've downloaded the app from the Apple Store or Google Play.
Reset default. Black Beach. Lemon Beach. Selected. Helvetica. Atkins. Selected. Font. 14 point. Set to default. Increment. Decrement. Texts. 120. Set to default. Increment. Decrement. Audio
didn't mean
color.
to open
Page.
that
4 of
before.
color. Audio speed. Reset default. Black Beach. Lemon Beach. Selected. White Beach. Black
I went
text,
into
color,
quick
sentence,
settings anyway, so
Close settings. Settings. Close settings. Modal. Close setting.
let's try this
Back.
again.
It would probably, and of course, it would settings. Search for keyword settings. Button. Settings.
All right.
Settings. Close settings. Mode selected. Quick set. 1 audio. 2 of 5.
So here are the
Selected.
audio settings.
2 of 5. Reset audio defaults. Reset audio if a book from a note. Place it voice 100 set to increment decrement audio
I'll
color
go
page
over to
text
the other
selected
side
quick set
here.
1 selected text page color 5 of audio speed
So first thing up for audio is the audio speed, which you can increase or decrease.
decrement button increment button set to default of percent 100 button 120% voice selection Tessa enhanced
So that's the voice that I use.
voice
If you want to change the
selection
voice,
Tessa enhanced
you double tap on the voice that's already active and
voice select
it
cancel
brings up
button
all these voices. So listen to this. This is kind of really neat. And
Tom, Zoe, Ralph, Aaron, Samantha, Nikki, Tom, Sandy, Reed, Grandpa, Kathy, Rocco, Flo, Fred, Shelley, Eddie, Grandma, Kay, Flo, Arthur, Sandy, Reed, Eddie, Grandma, Grandpa, Rocco, Martha, Daniel, Shelley, Karen, Matilda, Gordon, Karen, Catherine, Laura, Rishi, selected, Tessa, English,
That's it.
South Africa.
so lots of voices to choose from, whether you want English, American,
Catherine, Karen, English,
Australian,
Matilda, Karen, Shelley,
British
Daniel,
English,
English, United Kingdom. Sally, do not 443.
all that kind of stuff.
Laura,
So
Catherine,
let's
Karen,
go back
Matilda,
through
Karen,
here.
Shelley, Daniel, Martha, Rocco, Grandma, Eddie, Reed, San Arthur, Flo, Kate, Enhanced, Kate, Grandma, Eddie, Shelley, Fred, Flo, Rocco, Kathy, Grant, Reed, Sandy, Tom, Nikki, Samantha,
give me a
Aaron, Ralph,
moment.
Zoe, Tom, cancel, button,
I'm going to cancel it.
settings. Reset audio if a book from a publisher is note. If reset audio defaults, button. If a book note. Play sample Tessa and have voice selection. Tessa and voice.
So that's basically all you can do with the audio, is that you can change the voice, you can change the person.
100 set to increment, decrement, audio speed color, 5 page, 4 of 5 text, 3 of 5. Selected audio, 2 of 5.
The other neat things are the fonts
text, 3 of 5.
with the text. And let me
Selected text, 3 of 5.
go into text real quick. Very important.
Reset text, wider white space selected. Book default, characters 14 point, set to default of point 14 point.
You can change the size, you can change the spacing,
increment, decrement, text size, font selection, font, color, 5 of 5, font selection, default.
We can change the font, and here are your font options.
Selected, Atkinson Hyperlegible, Arial, Open Dyslexic, Verdana, Comic Sans, Helvetica, Roboto, Times New Roman.
Those are all your fonts. So that's kind of cool too. And of course, when you go to page, you can change your background, the color scheme that you have, whether you want the white on black, whether you want it traditional, all that sort of thing. So being able to manipulate the font is very important. Obviously, if you need a large font, probably helps to be using it on the on an iPad or something other than my little 12 mini phone. That probably wouldn't be too helpful to anybody because the screen is relatively small. But it does give you that flexibility to enlarge the font and change the color schemes and do all those kinds of things. So let's close out settings.
Helvetica Comics and Verdana. Open this Arial. Atkins. Select cancel button. Settings heading. Close settings modal. Quick set. 1 of audio. Quick set. Close settings modal button. It would probably show settings button. Search for keyword button. The Eris heading. Back button. The Eris search for settings but it would probably shock the average settings. Search for keyword button.
One of the things that you cannot do from here is to delete your book. You can read it from here, but yeah, in order to delete it, I believe we go back.
Back button. My library heading. Bookshelf my history button. Sort order date added. The Eris but sort order bookshelf my history button.
And we're going to have to click on Bookshare My History.
Bookshelf heading. Selected downloads button. Selected my history downloads button. Cancel but downloads button.
And then we're going to go to downloads because we actually have to go to the books that have been downloaded to the unit.
My library heading. Bookshelf downloads button. Sort order date added. The Eris but Rachel Hawkins button. More.
So each book that's in your download has a more button next to it. So you double tap on more.
Downloaded book options heading. Delete. Book info. Cancel button.
And then you saw delete, book info, and
cancel. Book info. Cancel button.
So obviously you're going to choose delete and then confirm it, and
my library.
It will be gone. Because we don't want a gazillion books on our device. I know some people like to collect and hold all the books they've ever downloaded, but I'm one of those that probably, once I read a book, I'm probably not going to read it again just because there's too many books out there. But what I like about the app, and what I think that you'll like about the app, is first of all, you have that control of lots of voices. You can change up on it If you get tired of hearing the one voice, you can always move to another. Make it sound like it has different readers. You can manipulate the speed, make it really quick or slow. Totally your option. And the other cool thing is that you can start to play and you can just leave it alone after that. You don't have to do any further manipulations. It's going to read until you stop it. So that is what I like about being able to play Bookshare books on the app itself. One of the other things that when you're playing books on the e-reader and you want to, say, skip to where you left off on another device, you can use spacebar with the letter F and do a find on the e-reader. So that helps makes it easier for you to jump from chapter to chapter also. And that can even be your keyword is chapter. So you can actually move through the ebook that way. So just various ways to manipulate text and being able to navigate to where you want to navigate to. So Bookshare is a handy resource. It is something that what Lara did not mention, I don't believe, is that students, if you are a student in school, you get a free membership. If you are an LBPD patron, which she did mention, you can get a free membership by calling the reference desk and getting your promo code. So those of you who may want to do that, I think that you'll enjoy the service. Of course, you want an individual service, and I will say that finding the link to individual service can be a little challenging on the main Bookshare site. So it's probably best to Google your way into it by typing in the keywords individual membership bookshare.org, and it will take you to, you'll find the link much, much quicker that way. But that, in a sense, is what Bookshare is all about. I hope that you've enjoyed the presentation and hope that you will take the time to join Bookshare. And by the way, if you don't meet those free qualifications, the Bookshare membership is $80 a year, which sounds lofty, I guess, when you look at it from a one single payment point of view. But if you divide that by 12, it's really not a bad price at all. A little bit over $6 a month. So it's a great service, and I hope that you will take the time to check out Bookshare. You can always check out what Bookshare has to offer without being a member. If you want to go in and see if it carries the books that you're interested in carrying, you can still go to the Bookshare library and take a look, I believe. So you don't have to be a member. Just go to bookshare.org and do a search and see if it carries the types of materials that you're looking for. So with that, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to address those.
In Maryland's tech-savvy land of innovation, a group of minds with wisdom and elation. The technology used to group, a shining light, bring knowledge to the people day and night. With meetings and events, they share their might. In forums and workshops, they ignite the passion for progress. They never tire and bring the future closer like a burning fire. Their expertise in tech, a treasure to behold, a wealth of knowledge young and old. From coding to AI, they dive and soar and make the complex simple once more. With every step, they pave the way for a brighter tomorrow today. In Maryland's tech scene, they shine so bright. The technology use a group of beacon of light. In Maryland's tech-savvy land of innovation, a group of minds with wisdom and elation. The technology user group, a shining light, bring knowledge to the people day and night. With meetings and events, they share their might. In forums and workshops, they ignite the passion for progress. They never tire and bring the future closer like a burning fire. Their expertise in tech, a treasure to behold, of the knowledge young and old. From coding to AI, they dive and soar and make the complex simple once more. With every step, they pave the way for a brighter tomorrow today. In Maryland's tech scene, they shine so bright. The technology use a group of beacon of light.
This has been a presentation of the Maryland State Library Agency. For links to additional resources provided by today's presenter, please visit the show notes. For more information on MSLA or the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled, visit marylandlibraries.org.